The largest indoor arena on Earth is not in Dubai, or in America, or in China. It is in Ota, Ogun State, Nigeria. It is being built by a church. The project is over 70% completed without raising a single special offering or borrowing 1 naira from any bank or any external partner. The institution behind it announced the vision in the early 2000s, started accumulating capital in 2015, laid the foundation in 2021, and purchased every material required for the entire project in advance before the naira collapsed, so that inflation could not stop what had already been started. That is not a church story. That is one of the most sophisticated capital mobilization operations on the African continent, and it has been hiding in plain sight. The numbers are worth establishing before anything else. 109,000 seats, main bowl capacity. A span of 318 meters with 0 internal columns across the entire structure. A foundation sunk 21 meters into the ground, half the depth of the Burj Khalifa's foundation. A roof that will be the longest ever constructed on Earth. When every space, main bowl, basement, children's church, teen church, foyer, is occupied simultaneously, the total facility capacity exceeds 200,000 people. The building standing directly next to it, the one that will serve as its overflow facility, is the 50,000-seat Faith Tabernacle. Built in 1 year, dedicated September 18, 1999. At the time of its completion, it was the largest church auditorium in Africa. It is now the waiting room. That single detail is the institution's track record before we discuss the Ark. The previous largest church in Africa became the overflow facility. Everything that follows should be read inside that context. The building did not begin in 2021. The capital did. Living Faith Church is not simply a congregation that gathers once a week. Over decades, it has built a broad institutional ecosystem: universities, secondary schools, primary schools, publishing operations, real estate developments, and agricultural ventures that extend far beyond Sunday services. Covenant University and Landmark University are among its most visible institutions. Its publishing arm distributes books across multiple countries. Its educational network reaches thousands of students across the continent. The result is an institution with multiple channels of capital generation built and compounding over several decades. It is from that base, not from a special offering, not from a bank, not from a single external donor, that the Ark is being funded. Bishop Oyedepo first announced the vision in the early 2000s, but the financial accumulation, the quiet, systematic setting aside of institutional revenue specifically for this project, began in 2015, 6 years before a single foundation column was poured. 6 years of capital sitting untouched while the institution confirmed the design, secured the location, and built the financial base required to move without external dependency. By the time ground was broken on March 25, 2021, everything required to begin had been accumulated and ring-fenced. Oyedepo confirmed publicly that not 1 naira contributed to the project since 2015 had been touched before groundbreaking. The discipline behind that statement is the part nobody covers. The original project valuation was 300 billion naira. At that time, the naira was trading at approximately 400 to the dollar. By 2026, it had crossed 1,600. The same project now costs over 1 trillion naira, not because the scope expanded, but because the currency collapsed around it. Because all materials were purchased in advance, locking in prices before the devaluation accelerated, the physical build continued without interruption. Not once was a special offering raised. Not once was the congregation put under financial pressure. Fundraising campaigns are prohibited by institutional mandate. Every naira that funded this project came from normal operating revenue. Over 1 trillion naira, zero debt, zero external partners, zero special offerings. The main contractor was Larilac. When the complexity of the project exceeded what a single contractor could deliver within the required timeline, the institution restructured without pause. 6 additional construction companies were brought in simultaneously: Pecula, Prodeco, Planet, TBL, Dutum, and Dominant, running parallel construction streams across different sections of the site. Large projects rarely fail during the launch phase. They fail when economic conditions change halfway through construction. The Ark kept moving. The roof remains the final frontier. Geometrical, a specialist roofing contractor, is handling the roofing. A 318-meter columnless span requires engineering precision that has no precedent on the continent. The complexity is not in the materials. Those were procured 2 years ago and are on site. The complexity is in the execution. The roofing alone carries a minimum completion timeline of 6 months and a maximum of 9. Against a Shiloh 2026 target, typically scheduled for December, that window is tight. Whether the institution meets it or extends beyond it, the answer will come from the engineering, not from the funding. That distinction is the whole story. As of the latest confirmed update, 109,000 seats have been ready for nearly 2 years. The twin 12-floor mission towers are almost completed, each carrying a helicopter landing pad on the roof. 22 transformers are set. Escalators are being installed. The audio-visual systems are being handled by WSDG, the Walters Storic Design Group, the firm behind Maracanã Stadium in Brazil and Jazz at Lincoln Center in New York. Every one of their global offices is working on this project simultaneously. The centerpiece of the audio-visual installation is a 7,000 square meter LED 360-degree video screen, one of the largest in the world. The building is targeting LEED Platinum certification, the highest green building standard on Earth, and will generate 1 megawatt of solar power directly from its roof. The largest church on Earth is being built to the highest environmental standard on Earth. On June 7, 2025, when the dedication date was postponed to allow technical partners additional time to complete critical installations, Bishop Oyedepo made 2 statements worth placing in the same sentence. The first, "Don't sacrifice excellence for time." The second, "There is no short supply of anything. There is no financial stress anywhere. Jesus has always been the source and will remain so forever." Read both as capital statements, not spiritual ones. A project of this scale, this complexity, this duration, and the institution's leader is not managing a funding gap, not negotiating with a bank, not managing donor expectations, not under pressure from a single external stakeholder. The Ark Legacy Project is not the story of Africa's largest church. It is the story of what an African institution can build when it operates entirely on its own terms, its own capital, its own timeline, its own standard of excellence, and no external authority to answer to. The building is not finished, but the argument it is already making is.